Julia's on her phone. Huh? You're on your phone.
I know.
What's so interesting on your phone?
I was looking for Split.
Split in Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
Our 12-meter video is ended. I'm a little late getting us on the air, and if I am acting like a crouton, it's because I am. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. And I hope our audio is, we've done another upgrade on our audio. I hope it's coming through to you loud and clear. And Ed Worley's on, Mark Holland, Blake Middleton, Pedro Foiling Sailor in Sydney. Andrew Pindar is at Tuesday already. Thanks for your contribution to the show, Andrew. Alan Long, Gordon Smith in Denmark, David James from across the bridge in the bay, John Emmett.
Rainy, Aaron?
Well, it's been rainy here this morning, too, I noticed.
Really?
Yeah, a little rain on the street this morning. Chris Exley, Clark Chapin, welcome, everybody. Nice to have you with us for today's show. As we get number, what is it? What the hell is it? 864, Julia, underway with our 12-meter video. Maybe it's time to change that video. I like that video a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
But it only runs for so long, and then the audio runs. But let's see what's on the starting line, Julia. Happy Tuesday, and happy what?
Admissions Day.
For which great American state?
Is it the 9th?
It is the 9th.
California.
Well done, Julia.
It's the only one I know.
Well, you know Hawaii, too. I know that. Fozzie Focus, tips and tidbits from the Fozzie, Friends of Sailing Illustrated. We haven't done a Fozzie Focus in a while, Julia. Feature, the Star Worlds are being featured 101 boats from 17, not 20 countries. Their PR says 20 countries, but we had a bit of a debate about that this morning among some of the Super Fozzie, and we checked it all out, decided there's only 17 countries. Not that it's a big deal, but I think what somebody was doing was looking at the number of countries from which sailors were coming, not the number of boats with skippers representing a given country.
Oh, that's probably true.
So it's like me crewing for you, and I'm saying I'm from Norway, even though you're skippering an American boat, and you're the skipper, and your boat's got a USA on the sail, and then they're counting me as a Norwegian because I'm crewing for you. So that's not quite correct. But we sorted that out at 17 countries. Nonetheless, a great turnout of boats and countries and terrific sailors at the Star Worlds. Coaching Corner, John Emmett's wrapping up the big wingfoil event in China before he moves on to his next venue. Another special this day in history, speaking of Norwegians. You'll like this one, Julia.
Okay.
The Ocean Race Europe, your favorite team, Team Malizia, Boris, Cole et al. Are enjoying a small lead.
Oh, congratulations.
It's the first lead I think they've had during these. They're on the fifth and final leg.
Right.
Speaking of legs, the female, that was not a good segue. This is speaking of the last leg, the female powerhouses, we're not talking about their legs, of Sail GP, a nice video. And we'll do a preview on Friday of this weekend's Sail GP in France. And of course, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, our fantastic Fozzie, and more. But to kick it off, I want to first say thanks very much to the gang that were live with us on Friday from Harbor Court in Newport, Rhode Island. PRO Tom Duggan for this Invitational Cup, which started, I guess today was the first day of actual racing today. Vice Commodore Claire Harrington was with us, and she was the MC, would you say?
Yes.
And Forrest Williams, who is the race committee chair for New York Yacht Club, the three of them joined us from Harbor Court. It was a terrific show. We've had over 2,000 views already, over 2,200 views, in fact. And we appreciate very much them coming on and telling us about the Invitational Cup, the 9th edition thereof in Newport, Rhode Island, this what we might call the World Championship of Corinthian or amateur racing. Everybody on the boats is a Category 1 Corinthian amateur, no paid to race professionals, And that makes it a distinct and unique event in our beloved sport. That's going on the 6th through the 13th with some practice racing days ahead of that. The 9th, Rolex New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup in New Portia. New Portia, Rhode Island. And they have 20 teams from 12 nations, to be sure, including there are 4 teams from the U.S. And you know what country has the second number of teams, highest number of teams?
No.
Ireland.
I was going to say England.
Go figure. Well, England's got one fewer team than Ireland. I think England's got 2, but Ireland's got 3, and representing them are the Royal Cork and the Royal Irish, plus the Howth Yacht Club. And I have a video featuring the Howth Yacht Club and their team racing in the Invitational Cup.
Oh, good.
I'm Darren Wright from Howth Yacht Club, and we are preparing for the Invitational in September.
I'm Brian Turvey, former Commodore Howth Yacht Club. I operate the pit on the boat for the Invitational. This will be my second attempt at this, following being here in 2021.
The Invitational would be seen as probably the top Corinthian event in the world at the moment. It's a privilege to be invited, and it's by virtue of the fact that it's an invitation as opposed to something that you can just enter. It's a very special event. I'm lucky enough to have some talented children who make up two of our spots, and the rest of us, we sail together. Generally, we sail together in various events, both at home and abroad. So yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to find people, as you say, who can give the time and the commitment. But we've come with a good team, and we're really happy with the makeup and how things are gelling together. My son will be doing a similar role this time, and I'm lucky enough to have my daughter with me as well, Sienna, both of which are ILCA sailors. So yeah, it's a very special moment for me to be able to bring my kids and compete with them for the first time.
The time we have here this week affords us the opportunity as a team to be gelling together, to work on the mechanics and the processes of sailing these fantastic boats. And also we do some boat-on-boat speed checks, seeing what our relatives are like and trying to improve on those with the other invitational teams that are here this week as well. Yeah,
like you say, the IC is a different boat to what we're used to and what I'm used to sailing. So it's about just finding the gears, figuring out how to get her going at the right times and at the right pace. So yeah, the last couple of days have been fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to the next 3 days of racing and see where we're at. Well, as said, for me, certainly competing with my children is a very special moment. Newport itself and Rhode Island is a beautiful place to come to.
I'm really looking forward to coming to Harbour Court again this year. It's a very special place, and I have memories that will last for a long time in the very special reception and the quality that we get at New York Yacht Club.
I was looking at my phone too because I just got a nice text from Danielle Forster in Newport. There are 2 races into the event. Out, I don't know where they're racing, if they're racing outside or north of the bridge today, but great turnout again, 20 clubs, terrific event. Bravo Zulu, 2 New York Yacht Club, and everybody involved. And let's see if we can get the pronunciation right. Yeah, I see that they pronounced it on that tape. They said Howth, not Howth, as I did. Howth. Oh, did I, Chris Fury, did I get that right? Not Heath, but Howth. I hope that's correct. But Bravo Zulu for fully 3 Irish teams. Pretty amazing. And a lot of comments this week, Julia, about...
They're outside, Claire says.
Are they outside? Is that... Yeah, Claire, there's Claire. Oh, Claire's on. Good. Vice Commodore Claire Harrington. a lot of comments this week about what amazing boats we're seeing at this event,
Yes.
at the Star Worlds, at the Finns, at the Maxis. Amazing. None of these funny things off on the side of the boat.
Right.
People doing real work on the boats,
Yes.
trimming sails, going from side to side, looking like the sailing, the racing we've all done
Right.
all our lives.
Right. I know.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is amazing. And those boats are really good.
The IC-37s.
Yeah.
Indeed, they are. Let's have a look at this picture. Speaking of the IC, great photo. I don't know who took it, but a terrific photo just to say that they're racing tomorrow, Wednesday through so they're racing today, but there's live coverage of the racing starting tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube. Icarus Sports is there. They've got Dave Reed from Sailing World Magazine and our old friend Andy. Well, Dave's an old friend, but Andy Green as well doing the commentary. Those races start at 1100 Eastern Daylight Time each day, which is, according to my calculations, 1500 UTC. Again, live as it is now. In fact, I'm just seeing here there's a live stream going on as we speak. So thanks, Daniel. Oh, it's not actually. There will be tomorrow, but he sent me another live stream. Daniel Forster in Newport. And let's talk a little bit about Harbor Court because that came in for some discussion during and after Friday's show. First of all, our super Fozy Claire Harrington, thanks again for pulling that together and doing a good job anchoring. She was the anchor, Julia,
Yes.
of that whole. What's wrong with our camera 2 here?
It's
Our
just
camera 2 has
switching
switched
for-
around here, Julia.
Switching for something like,
There we go. That's better.
yeah.
I worked on that all weekend, and I thought I had it solidified instead of it trying to move on its own. But nonetheless, Claire did a nice job of anchoring the team there from the library at Harbor Court. And I got a nice note after the show from a senior serious yachtsman, who's also a Fozy, senior serious yachtsman, I'm not going to say who's, saying, every interaction I've had with Claire, in person or through the medium of SI, etc., impresses me. Her knowledge, humor, compassion, awareness, and commitment is single-handedly transforming the way New York Yacht Club, and for that matter, sailing in the U.S., is seen. It's going to be a fabulous 2-year term, which will advance the sport at home and abroad.
Oh, nice.
Wasn't that a nice comment? I thought it was too, and I'm not going to say from whom it came, but it was a nice comment nonetheless, and much appreciated, I'm sure,
Yes.
And,
obviously somebody who knows.
and deserve it every bit.
Yeah.
Every bit deserve it.
Yeah.
Where else? Julia, push your mic right up in front of your mouth, please. That's the comment after Friday's show. But then I have to ask you, is this correct? This next little bit, is this correct or curtonic, Julia? And I ask you, on behalf of our correct or curtonic curmudgeon, Jody Baby Shark Shields, about Harbor Court, and it came up on Friday's show. How did Harbor Court get its name and the British spelling Harbour? So the first thing you would do is turn to ChatGPT or Google's AI, right?
Right.
And I turned to Google, and they said, on Google, it said, Harbor Court, Newport, Rhode Island gets its name because it was built as a grand residence by the New York Yacht Club. This is Google. Returned this, which established a summer cruise to Newport in 1844, making the city a center with an RE for sailing and yachting. The mansion itself was completed in 1906, and the name reflects its prominent position on the Harbour, a natural place for yachting, and the club's significant presence in the area. Julia?
Oh, my goodness.
Correct or curtonic?
Curtonic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's curtonic. And what is the truth? Well, we searched that out. So it still pays to go looking at websites sometimes and finding the website you think is authoritative. In this case, Newport This Week reports that following the death of her husband, John Nicholas Brown I was the husband, Natalie Dresser Brown commissioned Ralph Adams Cram of Boston to design a house for her and her infant son, John Nicholas Brown II, who went on to be a Commodore in New York. on an 8-acre parcel overlooking Newport Harbor. The Norman style. This was patterned after a Normandy style in Normandy, France. A Norman style mansion called Harbor Court was completed in 2006. The Browns were a sailing family, and John Nicholas Brown II commissioned and raced the magnificent yacht Bolero.
Oh, that's for there.
And that boat sat out in front of Harbor Court for years. Big, beautiful black, I guess it was a Hinckley.
Not the same one that got west.
No, not the same one. Which won the Newport Bermuda race with a time that was not to be surpassed for many years. He also served as Assistant Secretary of the Navy, that is John Nicholas Brown II, from 46 to 49. Among his many other honors and roles, Brown served as the Commodore of New York from 52 to 54, and his children followed in his footsteps as active sailors and members of the club, all of whom I know or knew because one of them has passed away. After the loss of America's Cup, the New York Yacht Club was in a quandary about how to win back the cup and what to do to unite the membership during its absence. Following the death of Anne Brown, that's Grandma Brown as we knew her, as we called her, John Nicholas Brown II's wife, she died in 1985. Her children put Harbor Court on the market, though not for long, and some members of New York Yacht Club thought that the club could benefit from owning a waterfront property in Newport. The property was purchased in late 87, and in June of 88, 1,500 members and guests celebrated the first commissioning of Harbor Court, and those commissionings have gone on every year in the spring since. I was pleased to be there in 88, and it was a marvelous occasion, Julia. It was simply marvelous.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Have you been to Harbor Court?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. You said that on the show Friday.
Yeah, stayed there.
It is not the British spelling, Harbor, H-A-R-B-O-U-R. The Brit Gordon Smith living in Denmark says it's the correct spelling.
Okay.
And the American Ed Worley says wrong. Now, for just extra credit, Julia,
Yep.
what's the name of the river that runs through London? The river
Thames.
Thames. Why is it Thames?
Must be.
T-H-A-M-E-S. Why is
Right.
Thames pronounced Thames? Who would the Fozy know?
Mr. Thames knows.
Huh?
Mr. Thames knows.
Mr. Thames knows?
Yeah.
See if anybody gets it in the Fozy. Claire is telling us that Bolero was a custom yawl designed by S&S. Who built it, Claire? Do you know? Vice Commodore Harrington.
Yeah.
You Brits on here will know, so tell us in the chat that what really happened was that there was a king somewhere along the way who had a bit of a lisp and could not say Thames, and he could only get out Thames. So they, as one would, out of respect for the king,
Yes.
pronounced the river Thames.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in Newport, Rhode Island, yes, Mr. Thames had a lisp. Fritz Mueller knew that. See that in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
And in Newport is Thames Street. And it's funny because people from abroad come and call it Thames Street. But everybody in Newport, if you ever go to Newport, be sure to call it Thames Street, not Thames Street. Okay, anything else? I think we've beaten that one to death, Julia. What are we celebrating today, Julia? You hit it, the nail on the head at the top of the show.
The admission of California.
It
to
is
the
California Admission Day, indeed. That's what it is. And in February of 1848, Mexico and the United States signed a treaty which ended the Mexican War and yielded a vast portion of what is now the southwest part of this country, including present-day California, to the U.S. Several days earlier, on January 24th, 1848, gold had been discovered on the American River near Sacramento. And you remember that they kept it very close to their vest because they didn't want anybody to be running up there and stealing their gold. But they also didn't want Mexico to know that they had found gold in case they might renege on the deal.
Right.
And as Clark Chapin points out, Julia, California is the only state that was never a territory. It went quite right from acquisition from Mexico to becoming a state and was never a territory like virtually every other state has been.
Except the first 13.
Well, the colonies now. Well, even those were technically, I suppose, plantations and the colonies.
I didn't never know that.
Michigan was part of the whatever territory, the Louisiana Purchase or the whatever that territory was. I don't think it was part of that. So California quickly became a state, the gold rush hastened California's admittance to the Union. With the gold rush came a huge,
Yes.
as Donald Trump would say, increase in population and a pressing need for civil government. So in 1849, Californians sought statehood, and after a heated debate in the U.S. Congress, because were they going to be admitted as a slave state or as a no-slave state, as a freedom from slavery state, and as part of the Compromise of 1850, which I'm sure you remember from your history books.
I was there.
You were there in 1850. As part of the compromise, California was admitted as a free non-slavery state, and then that territory to the east of California, New Mexico, Arizona, it was just a territory, they were admitted as slave territory. But regardless, it became the 31st state on this day in 1850. The Golden State's rich history has been shaped by people of every ethnic background, that is for sure true, who traveled here seeking economic, social, and educational opportunity and a life, Julia, of quality and beauty.
Breathtaking beauty.
Breathtaking beauty.
Yes.
And that's why I'm here. I'm seeking a life of equality and beauty, breathtaking beauty,
Yes.
and economic benefit, and a place to have a studio to do live streaming. So Henry Nevins was the builder of Bolero. Why did I think it was a Hinckley? I got to check that out. I, for some reason, thought Hinckley was involved in that boat. Commodore Harrington?
It might have been the other Bolero.
Maybe. I lived just up from Thames Street when I lived in Newport. Yes, indeed, Blake Middleton did. And of course, Julia was there. Rick Bannerow says West Virginia split from the Commonwealth of Virginia in 1863, so it wasn't born from a territory. So there, Clark Chapin.
Yeah.
Rick says that you're wrong. That I indeed also thought California was the only state born from a stillborn, not born from a mother ship.
Didn't ever occur to me.
California Admission Day, Julia.
Which is how I knew it was the 9th, because that was always a school holiday.
For you growing up. Because, now it's not a school holiday anywhere except in one town for extra credit.
Sacramento.
No. What was the original capital of this state?
Yes. Oh, gosh. I know that. But
Starts with an M, has a big museum, has a big aquarium.
Oh, Monterey.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Correct. No, Julia is correct. The 13 colonies were never organized as territories. Michigan was the Michigan Territory before it was admitted to the Union as a state, with the addition of the Upper Peninsula, the Upers, to compensate for the loss of Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, God.
Which is where our Fozy Joe Holtzman was from or born, I think. Benicia. What was in Benicia? The original state capital? Well, they still celebrate California Admission Day, I know from reading about it last night, in Monterey. Do you see the word on that seal, the great seal of the state of California?
Yeah.
You see this word right here?
Eureka.
And why is that word on the great state of California's seal?
I found it.
You have found it. That's the Greek for I found it. They have found gold. They found beauty. Enough of this. People are moving from here. We got to get the economy sorted out here, Julia.
Yep.
People and businesses are moving. Made it. Looking forward to the rest of the show. Thank you, Joe Cool, for joining us. And that is our preliminary, our preamble to our show number 864 for today. Fozy Focus, as promised. Gordon said he just watched a video about Finnish settlers. Upers, very interesting. Yeah, the Scandinavians settled in northern Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and Minnesota especially, and the Dakotas. Fozy Focus, cool people, friends of Sailing Illustrated, and the first one comes from a Fozy in this beautiful part of England. Julia, do you recognize it?
No, I don't.
We'll see how long it takes somebody on here. Gordon Smith will know where this is. He'll know why this is in the keynote today. Fins are Nordic, but not Scandinavian. Thanks, David James.
And he knows.
Man, everybody's being
Yes.
very pedantic today, very detailed. Well, that's good. Does anyone know where, I told you I was Creutonic today. At what town in England are we looking in this beautiful slide?
I just have no idea.
Does that help?
Oh.
That's Scarborough.
Oh.
In North Yorkshire, because we got our first Fozy Focus came as a text, DM, a direct mail or direct message from Andrew Pindar. It's getting bonkers busy this September and October. I don't know which way to turn it. I've probably overlooked something, but then he comes up with his list, which I thought was a terrific list. Coming up, Sail GP this weekend in Saint-Tropez, then Geneva, then Cadiz. Maxi's and the TP52s in Sardinia, the Cannes Boat Show, the Southampton, Genoa, and Monaco boat shows, the Ocean Globe Race, also from Cadiz, the Mini Transat from Les Sables d'Olonne, La Voile de Saint-Tropez later, that's in October, isn't it? And the 49er and NACRA Worlds in Sardinia, the World Match Racing Tour and Women's Tour events in Bermuda, and before I forget, finishing up with the Middle Sea Race, and there's some more. And he said, and this weekend there's the first ever Royal Ocean Racing Club's Magenta Joint Project Training Weekend. It's an offshore racing training weekend out of Cowes, with members lending boats, coaches, and volunteering time. An address by Shirley Robertson on Saturday night. I think a total of 31 women have signed up, Andrew says. And, of course, he's on the board of the Magenta Project. Yeah. Bloody, fantastic. Could not agree more. And it's a nice summary of what's going on in the Northern Hemisphere. And, of course, there's plenty going on as things warm up down in Australia and New Zealand as well. Now, Larry Kennedy's chiming in. What about the 6-meter worlds?
Right.
What about the 6-meter worlds? Well, I don't want you to feel left out, Larry, because there's also the Star Worlds going on this week in Croatia, the IQ foils going on, the U23s are going on, the New York Yacht Club Invitational Cup, of which we've spoken, and, Larry, this event. Dennis Conner will be sailing. His Majesty King Juan Carlos tells me he will be sailing. So this should be a terrific event. And Larry Kennedy and Peter Taylor both will be there covering it for us, helping run the regatta and covering it for Sailing Illustrated.
In Sewanica.
In Sewanica Corinthian Yacht Club in Oyster Bay on Long Island Sound, on the north shore of Long Island. Most important of all is the Make-A-Wish Opti Green Fleet Regatta. That's a big event. Nice. The sixes are gorgeous boats, Blake, aren't they? Ed Worley's also commenting on the sixes.
I made my life part of them for over a dozen years.
You and your late great husband followed the St. Francis 6-meter program all over the world, Europe, Australia.
Yep.
Big Australia American Cup. What was that cup called between Australia and St. Francis?
Australia America Cup.
Oh, okay. Fritz Mueller, OK Worlds on Lake Garda, 200 plus boats. Okay, and there's Commodore and President Emeritus Alistair Murray checking in from Australia's most eastern point, G'day, dialing in from Byron Bay. Julia, another Fozy focus. We can't go by without mentioning the Maxi Yacht Rolex Cup, which is going on as we speak in Sardinia. They will have wrapped up racing today. It's 22:30 there now in the evening Tuesday. But our super Fozy Andrew McIrvin, who is the Secretary General of the International Maxi Association, is there. And we promised you on Friday that he would be reporting in from YCCS, from Yacht Club Costa Smeralda. And indeed he did. He sent this video just before we went to air.
Shot of the yacht club and crews getting ready on the dock. Lots and lots of expensive hardware. There are everything from the new Swan 128, which isn't racing, to very wide selection of Maxis. So 47 Maxis, of which 43 are racing. So here we are in all sorts of colours. All sorts of shapes and sizes. So there's the new Wally Rocket 71 at Signor Stronati, who has an awful lot of boats. And rather fairly old now, bright green Inui. The very attractive Jim Schwartz Vespa, Maxi 72, now Maxi Grand Prix. And Althazar, another Maxi Grand Prix. And then a line of all the Maxi Grand Prix. Bellamenti, we've got 8 Maxi Grand Prix this year. And we have 9 in the Maxi 1 class. So those are the 2 classes for which there's a world championship. I hope to add some racing pictures later.
Is that a great scene or what? You have to have been there at some time, and if you haven't been there and you get the chance to go to YCCS, to go to Olbia, to go to the Emerald Coast of Sardinia there in the northeast corner, it's a spectacular part of the world, especially this time of year. Great people, great food, great yacht club, and thank you, Mr. Dr. Andrew McIrvin, for checking in. Obviously, on the way out to the race course today, the IMA Secretary General, and I don't know if you saw on Facebook his trials and tribulations of try. It's a bit of a deal to get out there to Sardinia. You have to fly either this time of year, you can fly to Milano or Rome. You used to be able to fly direct from Munich to Olbia, to the airport there at the town in the northeast corner. But it's a bit of a struggle, shall we say, to get a flight. And if you go to Rome, you go to Fiumicino and then have to go out on one of these local planes. In fact, I think the Aga Khan bought the airline to assure that he'd have, I'm not kidding.
Well, that's smart of him to do that.
The late, great Aga Khan, who started the Emerald Coast and that whole area beautifully. Our second to last Fozy focus for this Tuesday, the 9th of September, Julia, you got to love it. Those are the grandkids of whom?
I don't know.
He's on a train right now or just got off a train to Washington, D.C. to go see his grandkids. It's the first day of school or thereabouts. And Rick Bannerow says, my grandson's Max and his older brother Evan off to school. And that is the coolest thing, except for this comment from MTM, who said, immediately sent a comment saying, good crew in 10 years' time.
Yes.
Little Rick Bannerose. Yes, Gordon Smith.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
That's our sport. We have a beloved sport, friends and family all over the world, and
Yes.
parents, and then kids, and then grandkids. What a marvelous thing we have. Speaking of kids, the President Emeritus received, I should start by saying Happy Father's Day belatedly, because, they celebrate down under in New Zealand, Australia, I believe both countries celebrate Father's Day in September. And they did so this past Sunday. And one of our Fozy received a gift from, a retired Fozy, received a gift from his daughter. So get your finger ready.
Mm-hmm.
I am going with it. He is retired. And Julia,
Yes.
it's the WAG. We don't use F-bombs.
No.
And I wonder if you can guess who sent me that picture.
Oh.
Good night, Tom. Father's Day gift from my daughter. Daughter cruise for him.
Oh.
I said, LOL, good one. May I use that on Tuesday? Of course, I hear I fear the winger fag. The winger fag.
Winger fang, I think is good.
The finger wag.
Yeah.
That, of course, from Alistair Murray. Okay, that wraps up. Thank goodness, Julia. That wraps up the Fozy Focus. We haven't done one of those in a while.
No.
Blake Middleton is saying, yeah, the Aga Khan, just like Julia buying her own plane. Yeah.
Oh, my plane is going to have to be brought into service.
And there's Andrew Pindar saying that these days Olbia is quite well served by the European low-cost airlines. Well, those are airlines I don't like to fly if I can avoid it. But that's okay.
Swim.
Julia, it's time for John Emmett in the coaching corner. He's still in China. They've just wrapping up that regatta, and John reporting in with the coaching corner. Super Fozy John Emmett from the Yangtze River Delta, where he's been commentating at this amazing, actually, wingfoil event. Have a look.
Hi, Tom, Julia, and all the Fozy. So, crikey, the regatta here, with a blink of an eye, has nearly come to an end. So, probably a good time to have a little bit of reflection about what went well, what went wrong. For me, very different to working with dinghies, and the pace has just been absolutely amazing. In fact, we haven't even finished and they're already starting to close everything down and unpack everything. And one of the problems with sailing, or one of the difficult things or challenges with sailing, is always the media. And of course, Tom, Julia, and actually all of Fozy do a really good job of helping out with this. We all do our bit, and it still remains, to my knowledge, the only live show. But one of the things with the Olympics, they're really looking to have that global coverage, that viewership. And I have to say, having done only a few days, winging is absolutely perfect. I mean, the races are so short and sharp, you do have a very good opportunity to get them in. I mean, you can get a race in what, 30 minutes, if it's 20-minute delta, beach launching, straight out there. 3-minute start in sequence, 7-minute race. So you can hold it right up to the final half an hour probably. And they do sail in all daylight conditions. And that rapid fire racing does fit very well with media. In fact, for me, 7-minute races at very high speeds. I mean, I was impressed with 30 knots, but I think they're probably going to break 40. Meant that a lot of the time, it's just like being a coach at a medal race. I could only see the start and the finish because probably we couldn't even beat the boards to the first mark. And it's also interesting that it's a very small world. So I actually know a lot of the people here. I mean, one of the French sailors is getting married to a British sailor I used to coach when he was 14. They've got their wedding reception at Billy Winter's, which is basically halfway between where I live and she lives. And it's also the venue where I coach Lily for the 2012 games. I mean, you couldn't make this up. They're telling guests, bring your wing foiling kit because you might have the opportunity to have a little foil. So she's going to be probably on the same plane back as me, getting married 2 days after. I recognise some of the surnames, and it turns out one of the wing foilers is the brother of Pearl Latanzi, so JP Latanzi, who I interviewed in Weymouth after she won the Women's Wasp Worlds, and actually she's the girlfriend of another wing foiler here. There's a couple of people here I thought I recognised that surname as well, and they're the kids of people I raced dinghies and yachts against when I was their sort of age. So it's a very small world. I mean, backgrounds, we have everything. You know, a lot of people coming from kite surfing and windsurfing and traditional sailing. We have a rower, 2 meters tall, over 2 meters tall, 100 kilos. Some of the female athletes, 50 kilos. So they're looking at quite a variety of equipment. That's probably a topic for another coaching corner. But media-wise, it works super well, that short, sharp flow, and it means that there's just constant content, which is, of course, what the IOC want. And for me, I think there's something out there for everybody, and for the younger generation, this is really appealing. So on that note, I think I better go and pack up because I don't want to miss the proverbial bus. Probably going to be pretty jet lagged, but I'll try my best to make the show. So sail safe, sail fast, and keep having fun.
I guess he's back home.
Yeah, it must be now. Yeah.
John, is he in the chat? Yeah, there he is in the chat. Are you home by now, John? He is the international man of mystery. He does get around, Julia.
Yes, he does.
Okay, well, that's the Coaching Corner with John Emmett. And we appreciate very much his regular submissions to this show. The Kevin Bacon effect, just 6 network steps between any two humans. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, David James, tongue-in-cheek, saying remote control sailboats would be even better for TV. Very short races without needing any crew at all. There's a big experiment going on later this month or next month in the laser class.
Yeah.
At their U21 somethings, and they're going to try another different than what they're doing now, which is the X many short races, shortish races, and then the top 10 boats matriculating to the one winner-take-all medal race without carrying any points for it. Now they're going to have several other stages in between. I don't know. I like what the Star class and the Finn class still do, but who knows what else.
Wait, and remind us again.
Well, 7 races over 7 days.
Period.
Throw one out. Count them all, except your throw out. John Emmett, get to the front of the fleet with his regular Coaching Corner reports, which we're most appreciative. Yeah, I agree with Chris Fury. It's kind of, is it Chris? Or was it Gruber? Yeah, it's Gruber saying, I don't like the invisible stick.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking, what is that thing in John's hand?
I know.
But it does allow him to get that wide shot. We're talking about all the sky and the whole, I don't know. There's 6 of one, half dozen of another. I just am grateful for John doing those reports. We're also grateful for the effort going into pushing the big push for Paralympic sailing as a demonstration event in the 2032 Brisbane Games. We hope you are all continuing your efforts in Australia and beyond, because we need to get that back. That is Paralympic sailing back as a demonstration event for 32, and hopefully then in 36 and beyond, we're back in as a regular feature in the Paralympics.
And we have to remind everybody that is back because it's been there before.
Exactly. Good point, Julia. Very, very good point. John's headed to Villamora, and that, or is he saying that's where this experiment, the lasers are going to experiment with this new format in Villamora next month? Sounds like that's what the plan is. Speaking of Olympic classes, before we leave that genre, this issue, I quite like, as John does, I quite like the wing foils. I think everybody on here we all think it's a better class. Most of us probably think it's a better class. But the kites, let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. What song is that from, Julia?
I don't know.
Mary Poppins.
Oh.
Mary Poppins.
I don't remember that from Mary Poppins.
Oh, it was a fabulous.
Well, I know the
It was a fabulous movie.
It was.
That was the first, I think, that was the first LP, the first 33 record that I owned.
Oh, really?
It had all the music from Mary Poppins. Mm-hmm. What was that, 66-ish? and I had a record player. It was an old mono record player. It was terrible. And it was probably a stereo record that I ruined playing it with a mono record player. I played that record. I knew all the words to all the songs. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yeah.
John just got back from Ningbo 12 hours ago, so he's just gotten home. But speaking of Olympics, I think this class has improved themselves by changing their sail plan and making a couple other mods on weights, whatever. But the 8th through the 13th of September, the IQ Foil U23 Championship is taking place as we speak in Portimao in Portugal. And the silver medalist is there. He's, remember this guy, Julia, silver medalist from 2024? That's a clue. The Australian, Gray Morris, who's got the early lead. He looks very tough, very strong among those going forward for the next games in Los Angeles 2028. He said after a recent training camp in Townsville, Queensland, a potential venue, by the way, for Brisbane 2032, Gray arrives in Portimao with clear objectives. Quote, I'm trying to be more accurate and work on managing pressure at different times of an event and just manage the regatta better than I did in Aarhus. That was the former, they had a big world championship there. He explained, it's everything I know and I've done before, but just obviously needs a lot of work and repetition.
Yes.
Here's the video from today.
It's day number 2 of the IQ Foil Under-23 World Championships, and already the wind is in, so it's looking like it's going to be another epic day here in Portimao. Before we get into the action, let's hear from the event organizer.
My name is Miguel Martinho. I'm organizer of this event in IQ Foil Worlds in 23. The first day is yesterday. It's my first impression. It's amazing to see 140 sailors on the water. It's amazing for me. It's a dream. My motivation is because I'm a windsurfer and I have my dream to take all the top riders to my city, because we are not too much guys here to do windsurfing, and to take all the top riders in my hometown, for me it's a dream.
As promised, the wind delivered and we got 4 course races in again. In the men's fleet, Gray Morris continued his dominance. He currently holds a perfect score of 8 out of 8 race wins.
Apparently my conditions, I've managed to win every race, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm probably the heavier one in the fleet, so I like my food, which means I keep on a bit of weight, and it tends to be my happy place. So the more wind, kind of the merrier for me. But then it does affect me in the lighter wind, which I'm trying to improve on. You never know what could happen. Stranger things have happened, but yeah, I'm planning to stay strong, and when we split into gold and silver, I get to be partnered with the people who are a bit closer to me, and yeah, then the real battle begins.
Following behind are Federico Poloni and Nacho Baltazar Summers, respectively. In the women's fleet, Emma Blend didn't have the best start to her day, but was able to discard those results, and along with 2 bullets, she is now currently the event leader. Mina Mobeck falls down to second, while Maya Gisler and Amy Bright were fighting for third all day.
We had a quite good start on the day, where we were close in the races. So we are currently in 3rd and 4th. So the plan for tomorrow is just have good starts, I guess, good ley lines, and just battle with the friends. And yep. Yep. I'm coming for Maya. I'm coming for Amy. Amy's going down.
Another epic day here in Portimao. Join us tomorrow to see what the 3rd day brings.
They're trying to get Emmett to do that. to do when he was apparently. I think John told me this. The organizers of that wing foil event. Oh, can't you be more like Stevie Morrison? Or is that his name, Morrison? Or this guy right here. Oh, it's epic. We're going to do this. Maybe that's what we need to do for this show, Julie. It's epic. We're coming back. We've got another show. We got Claire Harrington from Harbor Court. Oh, man. Yeah, that Gray Morris is, speaking of Morris, I don't know him. Alistair just sings his praises, says he's just a terrific kid. And bravo, Sue.
Look at those.
Yeah, there's Pedro Foiling Sailor saying, Peter Stevenson says, is that commentator in training to take over from Stevie at Sail? GP, keep it normal, please. John Collingsworth, saying John Collings. Joe Cool insists that kites are coming back faster than wings. They're faster than wings. Yes, they are. Short line, single surface. Well, we'll see. We shall see. Competition's good. Let's let them compete with the wing foils to see who gets into the Olympics down the road. That's the IQ Foil U23 World Championships going on in Portimao. Another garden spot of the world, Julia. I'm sure you've been to Portimao, too.
Yes, indeed. We lived close to there for a month at a time.
You did?
Times, yeah.
Fabulous spot. Okay. We're going to carry on here and do your favorite segment, Julia. You can introduce it if you want. This day in history. I don't think you remember this, but maybe almost.
I remembered it once. I have to remember it twice.
No, this is a different one.
Yes.
This is not California. This is 9th of September, the year 1000.
Oh, I remember it well.
Here's your first clue. Excuse me, my voice is cracking. I sound like an adolescent teenager. Your first clue.
Oh.
We'll see if Gordon Smith gets this.
He's a knight.
No.
He's not a knight.
He's a king.
He's a king.
That is a statue to a king. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see anybody coming through.
Olaf.
Who said that? Did you see it? That, David James has got it. Clark Chapin says somebody Danish. No, Rick's got it. It's King Olaf Tryggvason. Is that how you say that? Tryggvason statue in Trondheim, which is a nice sailing town. Trondheim in Norway. King Olaf Tryggvason, better known as King Olaf the First. And of course, we had King Olaf V, who was the president of honor of World Sailing, of IYRU.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, this is the current king, King Harold's dad, who was also King Olaf, was also a great sailor. He was King Olaf V, and he won an Olympic medal. I'm not sure it was gold, but he won an Olympic medal in the 20s.
Wow.
Sailing for Norway. And not that he was a relative, although I claim this guy as a relative of mine. I say that he is a distant relative of mine because I'm so much like him when you find out more about him here, Julia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tall, dark, and handsome?
No, not really. This was his demise, supposedly, as a couple of the Fosey pointed out, David James, the Battle of Svolder, depending upon, some people pronounce it one way or the other, in the year 1000, supposedly in September, which was it was kind of the end of the Viking era because this guy had coalesced things, including the UK, including Kiev, but he was something else. And this Battle of Svolder, which supposedly took place on this day in September of the year 1000, was a large naval battle during and really at the end of the Viking Age, fought in September in the western Baltic Sea, and they're not quite sure, between King Olaf of Norway, King Olaf I, and an alliance of kings of Denmark and Sweden who came to try to topple him, as well as Olaf's enemies in Norway. The backdrop of the battle was the unification of Norway into a single independent state after long-standing Danish efforts to control the country. Combined, this is what the guy's cause célèbre turned out to be, was the spread of Christianity in Scandinavia. And here is a video to explain how that happened.
All right.
Olaf Tryggvason was born around 960s, in a period when the Vikings were constantly at war. It is said that Olaf was the great-grandson of Harald Fairhair, according to the saga. However, it remains to be seen whether this was a valid assertion. His life has been full of ups and downs since he was a child. His mother accompanied him when he departed Norway, and the name of his father has not been revealed. Olaf's foster father was slain in front of his eyes on their passage to the new land, and Olaf was sold into slavery as a result. Later, he was saved by one of his uncles. When Olaf arrived in Kiev, he settled down and began to grow into a warrior who was not only brilliant, but also hungry for power. He left Kiev and went raiding, following in the footsteps of his ancestors. In Wenland, he married the Princess Gira, who died not long after the wedding. Olaf's anguish was so overwhelming that he decided to leave Wenland. He traveled to Britain, where he encountered a hermit who foretold his rule via a prophecy. At that moment, Olaf, the Viking warrior, made the decision to convert to Christianity. Following the baptism, Olaf set ship for Ireland, where he met Gyda, the Princess of Dublin, whom he later married as his second wife. According to the saga, Olaf Tryggvason formed a partnership with Swin Forkbeard, who happened to be the son of Harald Bluetooth, to wage war. Even though many of his attempts were unsuccessful, Olaf remained a threat to many people across England. Olaf traveled all over the world to persuade people to leave their old ways and embrace Christianity. The year 997 saw Olaf relocating to Trondheim, where he built up a small trade town and transformed it into his royal residence. He distributed a few coins discovered by archaeologists, which were etched with his name dating to 990s. It is said that he had many enemies, and he was assaulted by sea in the year 1000, when he is supposed to have jumped from the ship instead of surrendering, never to be seen again.
That is the video. I truncated it a bit. I
Yeah.
edited the start and the end of it. But he is said to have been the most I think the name of that video is the most badass Viking ever. Now, not that I'm a badass, because I'm anything but that. But I like to spread the gospel. I like to spread the good word about our beloved sport.
Right.
And this guy went to England, somehow got involved in Christianity, went back, and one of the reasons people didn't like him because he was trying to convert.
And was a warrior.
And he was trying to convert the rest of Scandinavia to what I guess was the Lutheran, what ended up being the Lutheran religion. Mm-hmm. And I suppose the reason my late great mother was a Lutheran was because of this guy. Mm-hmm. And,
Well.
she was Norwegian, and so traveled all over the world or all over Europe. And of course, they mentioned this guy Bluetooth, and he is the guy. Obviously, he wasn't involved from however thousands of years ago that was. But Bluetooth, as we know it, the little electronic,
Right.
what's the word I want? The ability to communicate between electronic devices, audio and I guess audio, no video, via Bluetooth. When they came up with that, they named it after this guy, Bluetooth. That's an aside. Forget about that. But this guy was the most badass Viking. Therefore, I proclaim he is the most badass sailor of all time because he was a sailor. And when he got ambushed there in his Viking ship, which was a sailboat, he jumped overboard and was never heard from again.
He's probably living in your backyard.
He probably went to Argentina with Hitler. Who knows, Julia, what happened to him?
I know.
Trondheim, however, those of you who've been there, it's way up in the Trondheim, I guess it's called the Trondheim Fjord. And it's a beautiful town, and they have quite a marine capability there, too. Big harbor, Hafen. That is the Trondheim Hafen in Norway. I've been there. And this is the yacht club right there. And they've got Inglings. They've got quite a nice group of boats. In fact, I saw this in quite an active club. I saw this as a post online from somebody that had visited the club. I just got back from a trip to Norway teaching a human factors class to 16 Norwegian Air Force maintainers and managers at their academy in Trondheim. While there, I took a Saturday afternoon to visit the I don't know how to pronounce this, but it means the Sailing Club of Trondheim. It's a vibrant club in business since 1895 with a very nice marina and clubhouse. They have fleets of Melgus 24s, J22s, Inglings, a Norwegian designed and built 22-footer, that is the Ingling, as well as a wide variety of member-owned racers and cruisers. Some of you will remember that Jan Ling, who is a Norwegian, designed the Soling and the Ingling as a bit of a junior trainer, Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Middleton Inglings are still a very active fleet at Minnetonka Yacht Club in Minnesota. Ted Ryman concurs that Trondheim is stunning. He was there in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Clark, don't ruin my story about why I'm a Lutheran, or I'm not, but my mother was. Because, most of the Scandinavians were Lutherans because of this guy spreading Christianity and whatever happened. Steve Gruber saying, I would suggest that Bluetooth invented the technology when he was alive, but the Norse were so focused on raping and pillaging that screen time was frowned upon. Tier de Jong was in Trondheim in 68 and met some Vikings. The most badass Viking, and therefore I submit he was the most badass sailor of all times. King Olaf Julia the First of Norway.
Okay.
Gordon Smith says a lot of Englings around. Well, yeah, it was an Olympic class, wasn't it? Wasn't it, from memory, wasn't it an Olympic class for a while? I can't remember. Or did we talk about it being an Olympic class and then never made it one? The Soling clearly was an Olympic class. Julia, 1 hour and 1 minute into today's show. Thank you to all of you who have joined us on this rainy Tuesday here in San Francisco. I hope you're enjoying fine weather or a decent day wherever in the world you are as we move forward here to this featured event. Yeah, David James reminding us that the Yngling was the women's keelboat for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The women's keelboat. I think before they went to women's match racing. Is that right? Somebody remind us what was going on with women's keelboats in the Olympics back in the 2004, 8, 12 era. That is the opening ceremony at the Star Worlds. Took place a couple nights ago. They're in Split in Croatia. Magnificent class that it is. History and tradition and a lot of countries involved. And Julia, one of your favorite people is the class president.
Yes.
Former chairman of the board of our local yacht club, St. Francis Yacht Club. He grew up here at St. Fancy and is a hell of a good sailor, longtime friend. We did a couple America's Cup campaigns together. Paul Chiardini, as he's been known ever since he was the skipper for Il Moro, and Mr. Raul Gardini in the 92 Cup against Bill Koch. They lost. Bill Koch won, and Paul's been called Paolo Chiardini ever since.
Yeah.
Paolo.
Oh,
Jesus, Julia. I am a crouton today. Paul Chiard, great guy.
he's looking good.
He is looking good. He's fit as a fiddle. The guy's 66, whatever he is. They have 101, give or take. I think they had more entries than that, registrations than that, but the 101 boats, let's call it that. We said at the top of the show there was a bit of a debate about how many countries, but nonetheless, order of magnitude, 17, 18, 19 countries involved in this fabulous event in Croatia. Negri and Lambertini win day 2 in Split. That's today. This came out just before we went to air after a tactical duel on the Adriatic. Nice headline, but then you don't find out much about it until about the 8th paragraph, so I'm not going to go that deep. But then a 12-knot breeze delivering perfect conditions for race 2. Again, they do one long race a day, and they have, in fact, I don't think they do 7 races. At the Star Worlds, I believe they do 6 with a throwout. Split, Croatia today, the second day of racing at the 2025 Star World Championship, saw the full 101 boat fleet return to the water for race 2 after a 90-minute wait ashore. Despite a light and uncertain forecast, the race committee docked out at 12:30, taking a chance that paid off handsomely. By early afternoon, a solid 12-knot easterly filled the race course, accompanied by a moderate chop across the Split Channel. The race started at 2:30 in excellent racing conditions. I don't know why they do this. Andy Rose and I always make jokes about why they bury the lead. The lead should be who won, how they're doing, who they beat, who was second, and then talk about the race committee and the weather and all this other madness and the champagne sailing conditions.
Yeah.
The race started at 2:30 in excellent racing conditions. While a few boats were individually recalled, a general Claire Harrington, apropos the discussion we had on Friday's show, a general recall was avoided thanks to the Vaqueros race scent system. That's the other system with the Velocitech system we discussed on Friday, which New York Yacht Club has been fostering. Thanks to the Vaqueros race scent system, which reliably detected all OCS boats in real time, allowing the fleet to get away cleanly.
Well, that's good.
I thought that was worth mentioning, didn't you?
Yes,
Don't
yes,
you?
Yes.
Technology, Julia.
Well, I'd rather have it there than on board.
Well, the key thing is to get these huge fleets.
Yes.
You're now able to go back and start reliably 100 boats on a long starting line.
There's
and
no
not,
way you could otherwise.
Well, you did, but you buy guests and you buy goshed,
I
and
know.
people you'd get the boat to windward of somebody who was then to leeward and was blanketed. The race committee couldn't see it, or they couldn't see it from the leeward end. It was just, it was always, you were never quite sure what was going on. Look at this beautiful shot. And there are dozens of these shots on the page. They also have live coverage of the racing, and it turns out to look pretty good. I watched some of it today.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube and Facebook. And the standings, we'll talk more about this on Friday's show, but we told you about Diego and Sergio having a good couple of first races, and they have a net because they haven't had a throwout yet, no discard. But I believe they have 6 races in the Star Worlds and have since forever. And they just, even when the Olympics went to 7, the Star kept their world championship at 6. And they're 6 long, good, hard races, 1 race a day, boat speed, tactics, and beyond. You got a lot of great sailors, a lot of great names that turn up for this year after year. Mateus.
Buckingham, I was just looking at how many Buckinghams have
Well, that's the Newport Harbor, but that's the dad.
Yeah.
That's Jim Buckingham. But you see, but above that, you see Mateus Kuznarevich and Bruno Parada, who are just terrific sailors. Jim Buckingham from Newport Beach and Brad Nickel. Jack Jennings, who's my age, with Pedro Truchet. He's doing well in 6 and on down the list. Including Juan K is there sailing. Juan Kumyujan is racing. And I don't know that he's doing very well, but he goes practically every year. Blake says that I personally rank the winner of the Star Worlds as the single top achievement in sailing. Interesting, Blake. You're not the only one who says that.
Yeah.
David James's format with long tactical races in slow monohulls will never catch on. It's lousy for TV, right?
Yeah.
David James saying that San Diego Yacht Club ran an Etchells Worlds with 120 boats on one starting line. It was a bit manic, but very fun and successful.
He must have won.
Yeah. And there's some kids there. That's Fritz Mueller pointing out that Nick Heuwinkel and Jesper Speer, they must be German, are they? Where are they from? Yeah, they're German. Those are two good German names. They're U30. You see there where it says in the division, they're U30. And these 2 are also young. So 2 good young German teams there in the standings. Cool stuff.
Yep.
Great class, great event. Bravo Zulu to all involved. KR is the president. Once they have a throwout, maybe he will be better placed, but I didn't see him in the top 10, at least not so far. Julie, we've been covering the Ocean Race Europe. There are a ton of videos coming out. I didn't use one today because they're all long. They're all sort of 6, 7, 8 minutes. Not much. They're live. They're live raw, I should say, video off the boats. They get sent however they get sent satellite by Starlink back to the race headquarters in Alicante, and they don't do much editing. They just stick them up on the YouTube channel. So they're 6, 7, 8 minutes long, and they don't really tell the story as well as one would hope. So I'm just going to tell the story here with a couple, 3 slides, and we'll cover this some more on Friday and maybe even next Tuesday. It's a bit of slow going right now, but your team, Julia.
Yes.
That's the standings going into the start of this 5th and final leg from Genoa to Boca Bay. But as we speak, the teams having started and gone down through to the west of Sardinia and through that scoring gate. I think that's what that black line is right there, was a first scoring gate.
Ah, okay.
I believe. But down here are the leaders, and the red boat is your team,
Yay.
Malizia.
Yay.
Currently leading, at least when I looked, which was an hour and a half ago, leading by 3, what's it say up here in the corner? Leading by 3.4 nautical miles, it says, over Bio. Don't call me Biotherm, Biotherm. Alagrande Mape is in third, Team Poprek Arkea in fourth. Wholesome PRB struggling again in fifth. B Water Positive, that's the Canadian team, in sixth. And Team Amala, that's that yacht club in Saudi Arabia, in seventh place. So that's the current setup there. We'll follow that as they, let me go back to that, as they make their way over here south of Sardinia to a turning mark here off Sicily, and then around Sicily. You see they go around Sicily. Here I can even go to camera 4, and they go around Sicily and then back up into the Adriatic, and they finish eventually off Genoa. I beg your pardon. They started in Genoa, off Boca. What's it called? Boca something. I've forgotten the name of it.
I don't know.
Okay, that's the Star Worlds as our feature. We've covered that. Gets us to the last leg, Julia.
Yeah.
And I have a rather extensive last leg because this weekend is the next edition of Sail GP. And, you know, the America's Cup, I haven't said anything about the America's Cup now for several shows. People are, hey, when we're going to get a cup date? And Julia, frankly, today is the 9th of September.
Yep.
Today was the day by when they were supposed to have signed the ACP, the America's Cup Partnership. And it is crickets. Crickets, Julia.
Oh.
Why don't I have any pad sound? Let's get some sound up on the pads here.
Oh, the Boca is Boca Montenegro.
Crickets. I can barely hear that. Yeah, it's in Montenegro, but it's Boca something else, Chris, actually, isn't it? It's not Boca Beach, but it is in Montenegro. The Olympic code for which is, do you remember, Julia? MNE, because MON is Monaco. Okay. The point is that Sail GP is happening this weekend. The America's Cup is gone quiet. Richard Gladwell put out quite a good article today, and I didn't cut and paste it into the show. He had some very good points in it, though I commend it to you. That, of course, on sail-world.com. Boca Bay. Is that what it is? Chris, actually, thank you. Boca Bay, not Boca Beach. Richard Gladwell's written quite a good article basically saying, hey, we're all waiting for something to happen and speculating on what the boats are going to be like with these new rules and you can't build a new one. You have to use an old one, or you can build a new one, but it's got to be to old design, yada, yada. And Joe Cool's making the point I was just about to make. Thank you, Joe. I think you are spot on. That is that the America's Cup has been canceled due to Sail. You think that's funny?
No, it's not funny, but it has a ring of truth to it.
I think you're right, Joe Cool. AC is canceled due to Sail GP. So here's another Sail GP event. They're happening every 4 weeks, give or take. And there's so much publicity, so much good ink, so many news stories coming out of it. And even if the America's Cup were doing something, it's not going to happen for another 2 years, 2027.
Yeah.
Racing. In the meantime, who gives a flipping frig? Who gives
That's
a good
so
tinker's
sad.
damn? So it is sad, but let's go look and see what's going on apropos the Sail GP, with the next event for which is coming up here. In Saint-Tropez. on the 12th and 13th on this weekend. There's their promo video. They're returning. They were there last year. Elegant place to be. Great time of the year to be there. Should be a cool event. The Rockwool France Sail GP in Saint-Tropez this coming weekend. Says buy tickets now, but guess what, Julia?
What?
It's all sold out, according to a text I got from Russell today.
I can believe that because there's only so much room.
And in the chat, Ed Worley's making the point, TNZ, Grant Dalton, they're the ones killing the cup, not Sail GP, and that's really a good point. And Ed Vitrano asking, isn't the Big Boat Series? Yes, that's a local regatta here in San Francisco. It's a big deal. It's a big event. It's a signature event here at St. Francis. But yes, the Big Boat Series starts tomorrow night with a big dinner and then racing Thursday through Sunday. And, we don't tend not to cover local events, even local events here in San Francisco.
It used to be non-local.
Well, it was you're exactly right, Julia. And there were bigger boats, and now it's a J-Fest principally, not exclusively. The only reason we will cover it, and we'll mention it because there will be some video, and because it is a Rolex-sponsored event, and we love Rolex for all that they do for our beloved sport. But back to Sail GP, here is a video on the female powerhouses that we teased at the top of the show in the starting line. And I think you will enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy it half as much as I did.
Martine coming in, I think, is a massive step forward for women. But imagine we had 3 or 4 female drivers, then that's real progress, and then that's really pushing towards equity and equality.
You have to have one female on board the boats at the moment, and that is a rule. It's compulsory, but I'd like to be in a world where it's not actually a rule, it's just normal.
Sailing's a really unique sport that gender doesn't matter. Mother Nature doesn't know if you're a boy or girl. It's all about who's performing best on the water.
Now that there's girls excelling in all different roles on board the boats, I think it's just becoming more and more normal.
So currently on board, I'm the strategist in the back of the boat, but I want to upskill. I want to be moving forward in the boat, whether that's driver, flight, or wing. For me personally, my ambition is to drive a boat. I want to steer a race in an F50. I want to win a race in an F50.
When I came in my first event, Tom asked me what role, if I was to do a role on board this boat that wasn't a strategist role, what would I like to do? And my immediate thought was I'd like to drive a boat.
So how do you make driving a boat a reality? How do I make that happen? What's the next step involved? And it is just simply time on the boat. Like in Olympic sailing, you don't dream up a gold medal just kind of off the bat. You have to work systematically hard to get there, and it's all about time in the boat. It's about dedicating the hours necessary to make that happen.
I would like to see within 2 seasons another girl leading a team. I think Hannah Mills is probably the closest one to getting all those things put together.
Love to drive a boat and join Martine on the start line and I guess close the gender gap.
Women's sports in general right now are just skyrocketing. They're buying, they're building, it's an incredible kind of huge trajectory of where women's sports going.
I think most people must imagine, wow, Martine put together this amazing team, but I think it's really hard to get the funding.
It's a huge part of my drive is to try and push female sailing forward and create new opportunities, and whether it's drivers, whether it's wing trimmers, whether it's flight controllers, there's so many roles on the boat that I think women could be amazing at given the platform and the opportunity, and so have the next generation just seeing anything as possible.
Did you like that video?
Yeah.
You agreed with a comment. You said during the video, you agreed with her comment that Mother Nature does not know if you're a boy or a girl.
Well, the purpose of it was it depends on how good you are.
Exactly. Girl power, Alistair Murray says in the chat. Ted Ryman always enjoys women sailing. I think Ted Ryman enjoys his women, period. He enjoys his women. And yeah, Dogzilla Monster, a.k.a. Stingray, up in Seattle saying, Sail GP posted a terrific video today about the repairs done to the USA and Brazilian team boats near Portsmouth, Southampton. They got the boats done. They're all going to be racing.
Oh,
so bravo Zulu
yes.
to them. That is quite an achievement
yes.
for Russell and his technical team to get those boats fixed, because it was a bit of a deal. We're going to talk about that in a moment with the British team, or have a video from them. But in the meantime, as I told you, they are sold out in Saint-Tropez and Geneva. The tickets, the shoreside tickets, the bleachers, the grandstands, whatever you call them, almost sold out in Perth. That's not till next year. And a few hundred tickets left for the new grandstands in Cadiz. Auckland pre-sale about to go live in a few days. Abu Dhabi, the last event of the year, this year, also coming online.
Oh, I'm glad for
soon.
them.
So again, we've all been saying it in the chat, or most of us, a number of us have been saying it in the chat. You know, they're just winning the day. Sail GP goes from strength to strength with regular events. They've got, I think Magnus the Magnificent had a terrific column. What was it, a day or two, maybe 3 days ago now? Did you see his column? In Rule 69, in his Rule 69 blog on Substack, he said the boats are suspect, and we've been saying that on here now for some time, and I think he's right. And I think they're going to have to rebuild that fleet. That fleet's now, 5+ years old.
And hard driven.
And driven hard, ridden hard and put away wet, to use the equestrian expression. So that aside, though, the entertainment value, the competitive value, the racing, the intrigue, I think, is second to none. You've got 4 events left in this season. Who knows if the Brits are going to win, or the Kiwis, or the Aussies, or somebody else. And as Dogzilla Monster is saying, as Russell wrote in his article today, these F-50s, are the fastest race boats on the planet. We made that point here the other day. They're faster than the America's Cup Gecko monohulls.
Yep.
I mean, the Cup's been ruined. It has. I've really getting darker on the Cup by not quite the day, but by the week. There was Ed Worley sent me the note. Those of you who read Seahorse magazine, Rod Davis, who had been, the American gold medalist from here from '84, and then moved to New Zealand and is basically a Kiwi now, and has been sailing with and coaching Kiwi America's Cup teams. Now is not involved. He wrote quite a long and interesting article in Seahorse this month. It's just out. And he's basically saying, hey, the America's Cup's the America's Cup. Always will be what it is. We'll follow it. But frankly, it is about as relatable for sailors. It's about, and forgive me, I'm paraphrasing. It's about as relatable as driving a submarine.
Yeah.
Julia.
Yes.
I thought that was perfect. Ed Worley sent that to me. He said, look at the last sentence in this article. And he's right. Mm-hmm. For the average sailor, we've been talking about it this whole show. People have been posting all over my Facebook page as we look at the yachts, the Maxis, the Stars. You got the Snipes that are going on in San Diego. They just had their Western Hemispheres, won by a Fozy, by the way.
Really?
Justin Callahan. Bravo Zulu to him.
Oh,
yep.
Good.
And people moving their bodies from side to side, people hiking, people steering, doing all the work in the physics sense of the word with human power, no stored energy or very little stored energy by way of maybe some bungee cord or springs in the winches. I mean, excuse me. Yacht racing, as we've all known to come and love it, since maybe the year 1000, when they put sails. Oh, they had some people rowing, I suppose, in those Viking ships, Julia.
Yes.
The America's Cup. I have one more video here in the last leg, apropos Sail GP, and I think it's a fabulous video wrapping up the rest of that looking forward to the wrap-up of the rest of the Sail GP season.
We're here at Sail GP Technologies ahead of Saint-Tropez, looking at the last 4 events and the road to the final. Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down roller coaster season for us so far. Started off incredibly strongly with some good podiums, a win in Sydney, and then we had the US, to be honest. None of the events went very well for us with some not great results. We bounced back, and then with a great result in Portsmouth and another solid one in Sassnitz to put us in just into top 3 going into the last 4 events of the season. The crash for the Americans, if we weren't able to repair the boat, would have cost us a lot of the points. There's no redress in SailGP like normal sailing, so we would have probably got 1 point for that event as opposed to the 8 points we got, so we would have been a long way off that top 3. So we're really thankful and appreciate all the hard work from the tech team to get us racing on that Sunday. Yeah, back into the top 3 now, looking to those last 4 events. Saint-Tropez next is going to be a bit of a mix. We've seen some big breeze there and some light wind, so hopefully we get some more strong wind and the 18-metre wings. Then we move to Geneva. Cadiz should be a fantastic venue, and then Abu Dhabi at the end of the year to kick it all off. The goal since we started this season has been to be in that grand final. The way it works in SailGP, as long as you qualify for that grand final, whether or not you're first, second or third, it doesn't matter. You're in that final, and then it's a winner-takes-all final race of that top 3 to take out the championship. So we're just really focused on delivering consistent results to get us into that podium. You can see how much it changes. You know, you just have a crash or something, and there's a lot of jeopardy in SailGP, so we're just trying to keep chipping away and make that final in Abu Dhabi.
See, that isn't even a SailGP video. It's about SailGP, but it's from the British team. It's from Emirates GBR, Dylan Fletcher. Fabulous video.
Yes.
And thank you, by the way, to Emirates GBR for sending me the link, because, you know, I'm putting the show together and I got my head down and my you-know-what up in show mode from Dark 30 on Tuesdays and Friday, actually from the afternoon before. But it's really nice when they make a point, hey, we're sending you this video if you want to use it. But look at that. So you got Russell's stuff. You got the stuff coming out of corporate SailGP. Then you got the team stuff coming out.
Right.
And what's not to like?
Yes.
What's not to like, Julia?
No, I agree.
Good stuff. Nice vid. Ted Ryman agrees. Ed Worley saying it'd be interesting to have one-on-one match racing of the F50s on a longer and wider course. Good point. Good point. You know what somebody should do sometime, Julia?
What?
They should write a comment, because I don't pre-read the comments. People ask me, Claire asked me, or somebody asked me the other day, how do you read the comments so quickly? And I don't pre-read them. Yeah. I assume, I look at the name to be sure, you know, it's somebody we know, and that it's probably a decent comment. But, you know, somebody should write some crutonic thing out there. I'll probably read it, because I don't. What's Ed saying? I said, it would be interesting to have one of them. Ed's good thing. He said something credible and not crutonic. Oh, dear. SailGP. Coming to a television screen near you, or a computer screen, this weekend on YouTube again in Saint-Tropez. We will not do a watch party, but I'm no doubt that a lot of us will watch it either live or in replay. Julia gets us to our last little bit here. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, and I have but one, plus the Blake Middleton favorite, and this came from Ed Worley. There are better things in the world than alcohol, but alcohol sort of compensates for not getting them.
Okay.
You don't drink anymore. You barely drink.
I only...
You come down here for dinner, you know, once or twice a month, and I'll fix you a cocktail, and you say, make it light, put lots of ice in it. You used to drink a lot.
Yeah, I did, and I loved it.
And why'd you stop?
My tummy stopped, I guess.
It's just better for you. Better for all of us. And pay.
And actually, that's not true. I've stopped hanging around bars.
That's true.
Because it's still much better to sit at the bar or in the cocktails.
Well, you've never drank by yourself.
Never.
I go up to your apartment sometimes, say, Julie, why don't you have a drink? Only if you'll stay here and drink with me. Well, you know, I don't drink, so I'm no fun. Don't tempt me, Tom, to be crutonic, Pedro Foiling Sailor. You watch, the comments are going to roll in here, and they will be crutonic. Steve Adkins. Hello, Commodore Adkins. Definitely rallying around our brothers, GBR. Alistair Murray says, I don't drink anymore, but then I don't drink any
There's
less.
a man after my own heart. Yeah.
Thank you, Ed Worley. Thank you for sending that one in. And we always conclude with this one that Blake sent. I used to use that too. I used that probably 500 shows ago, but I like it. I like to end all the shows with that, which gets us to the finish line. You know what the orange flag is in that, Julia? And what's the difference between the orange flag and the blue flag on the committee boat?
Clear and not clear.
The orange flag is the finish line itself. The staff on which that flag is displayed is one end of the finish line, and they're using presumably a buoy of something at the other end. Oh, it may be a boat as well. And the blue flag means the race committee is on station for the finish.
Aha.
And that's why you see race committee boats when they're out just tooling around the lake, in this case, or even on the ocean, they will not have a blue flag up until they are on station at the finish. So it tells the yachts if they're a long way away and they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
the boat's
where's the finish line?
moving into, exactly, and they're moving into position or not.
Yeah.
When they see the blue flag, they know that they're in position. There, that's Clark Chapin will vouch for that, as will Blake and any numbers of others of you. Steve Gruber saying, why not let SailGP be what it is? Let the AC be what it is. And if you want match racing on longer, wider courses, check out World Match Racing Tour. It's all there. Yeah, they're getting ready to go WMRTing it in the... getting ready to do WMRT in Bermuda very soon. Now, that's a finish line. I know that's a finish, and that's why that blue flag is up. That's not an old preparatory signal flag. That is a finish line. Uh-oh, I'm being corrected by Clark Chapin. No, the meaning of the blue flag changed in the last rule book. Now it is one end of the finish line. The orange flag is one end of the starting line. Of course, the SIs can change that. Okay, that's an old picture, Clark. Stuart Childerley. Hello, Stuart. Thank you for fixing me. And Clark, thank you for correcting me. Thank you, both of you.
And Stuart.
And Blake has as well. The RRS has changed to finish AT, the blue flag, at the blue flag, but I hate the change and prefer the orange flag since it's far more visible.
I think that's true.
We have a controversy on our last slide of the show.
Yes.
I am a crouton, Steve Gruber is saying. That's an old picture, and that's what those two flags mean at the finish. And you can see the race committee gentleman there citing the line with his VHF radio.
And Stuart Childerley says, a quick read of the new rules.
Yeah, no, I read that.
Yeah.
Childerley.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all, and I change the SIs when I can, Blake Middleton is saying. Julie, that gets us well and truly to the finish of this show.
Yes.
And you like to say...
Oh, yes. It's always enjoyable to read the comments, but it's also a great opportunity to like, follow, and share.
Indeed. And we leave the comments open. They're welcome. You're welcome, if you're watching this in replay, welcome to comment, because we never or very rarely get any croutonic comments.
That's true.
And if we do, what do you do?
Out they go.
One strike and you're out.
Yep.
And we delete them from our lives. We delete them from this show. So don't make any personal attacks. No name calling, please. No coarse language, unless it's Alistair Murray. He can he can send socks in with the F-bomb on it because he's Alistair.
Yes.
Okay, that's about it. We want to thank, as usual, those of you who support us via patreon.com/join/Sailing Illustrated. Give us a few bucks a month so that we can have a nice studio. We can have all this equipment, pay our streaming fees. That's all we do with the money that you send in. And we thank all of you for making your many contributions to this show. Those of you who do it directly, those of you who allow us to use audio, images, and video, courtesy of this long list again today. We hope you have a great rest of your week. And in the meantime, the Big Boat Series does start here.
Yes.
Racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's so much going on around the world.
There is.
What a treat this time of the year. Then we get to changing the clock. My least favorite thing, Julia.
Yes.
Starts happening here very shortly. In the meantime, do go sailing. And if you can, go sailing. Sail fast, sail safe, and have fun. Ciao for now.